Well, hello there, my beautiful anxious souls. Today we will discuss anxiety and depression and how you can overcome it by shifting your mindset from one of seriousness to one of sincerity. By learning to take your thoughts and emotions less seriously, you can begin to play with your anxious states in order to poke holes in these energetic vampires and regain control of your life. By the end of this episode, you will have another skill with which you can approach the challenge of rising above anxiety and depression. By shifting your mindset from helpless victim to empowered explorer, you can learn to play with and challenge the anxious condition with the goal of eventually eliminating it from your life. My name is Michael, and for more than 15 years, I struggled with anxiety and depression that wreaked complete havoc in my life. In my efforts to find a way out of the dark labyrinth that I found myself in, I was placed on a path of immersive study in the fields of psychology, biology, human learning, emotions, behavior, and personal development. My purpose with this channel is to share some of the knowledge that I've gained along the way with the hope that it can help you in your journey through life. During my meditation session this morning, I stumbled across some insights that kind of suggested that I could adjust the approach to my offerings here, make them a little bit lighter, funny, and overall just a little bit more fun. After all, laughter goes a long way to helping lighten some of the many burdens that we encounter in life. So anyway, after a bit of contemplation, I came to the conclusion that it was time to talk about mindset and how it can be a great asset into your quest to overcome emotional overwhelm. During my own struggles with anxiety, I remember that I very often found myself repeatedly mired in moments of heavy rumination where I was very strongly identified with what I was feeling and thinking in the moment. This is actually a big problem that can hinder your ability to take positive action towards alleviating the sources of anxiety. When we identify with anxious or depressive thoughts and feelings, we effectively energize them and give them more power. Now, when I say identify, I mean the process by where we allow our mind to attach our identity or sense of self with passing thoughts or emotions. Identification is kind of similar to the Buddhist concept of attachment. It's the process of latching onto and self-identifying with a train of thought. Remember that thoughts and emotions are just energy that are continually passing through our being and constantly shifting and changing. It's all just energy. If we identify with these passing energies and they happen to be negative, then we effectively lower our state of being in life, which then produces negative experiences and negative outcomes. When you are identified, it is represented by possessive and destructive thoughts expressed in the mind with words kind of like, I'm anxious, something's wrong with me, I'm depressed, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I cannot change, I'm broken, I'm useless. These kinds of thoughts actually reinforce and help perpetuate the negative thoughts and feelings that initiated the anxious state in the first place. It kind of gives them more power. Another thing to notice is that it tends to shift your focus towards the problematic nature of what you're sensing in the moment and generates an attitude that becomes increasingly serious. The identified state produces a feeling of seriousness that only increases the negative feelings of desperation and helplessness. Seriousness is an attitude that is rooted in deep negative emotions of vanity, pride, and fear. And somehow they're tied into a belief system that has been shaped by negative experiences from your past. Seriousness brings with it a feeling of gravity and makes you believe that you are bigger and more important than you really are. The flip side of seriousness is sincerity, which is rooted in care, compassion, lightness, and love. A good avenue to access sincerity is through laughter and play, kind of like when we were kids. And this is one really very useful secret that I learned and started applying in my life that helped me to overcome and move beyond a life crippled by anxiety. If you can learn to laugh at, love, and play with yourself in the heat of an anxious moment, then you can create space and energetic conditions for stopping anxiety in its tracks. Now, I kind of like to take you down a bit of a rabbit hole with an analogy that will hopefully flick a light switch on in your brain, maybe generate a little aha moment, or at the very least cause you to laugh a little and maybe, just maybe, even laugh a little at yourself. So let's do a bit of a visualization together. Yeah, I mean you and me right now. So if you're doing anything that's dangerous, maybe driving a car, pull over to the side of the road, or put down the machete, or turn off the lawnmower for a couple of minutes while we go through this exercise. Okay, so let's start. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and take a moment to imagine your central nervous system in all of its parts. Close your eyes and come down into the body with me. Starting with the sense organs, your eyes that perceive light and allow you to watch YouTube, your ears that intercept sound and facilitate your listening to this podcast, your olfactory glands which allow you to smell and taste yummy foods, and your tactile senses that enable you to touch and to feel touched. These are the outward focused extensions of your nervous system, which allow you to sense the world around you. They bring all of that information as energy back to the brain to be decoded and interpreted. So now, let's move to the brain. Notice the billions of brain cells that are gathered together, much like attendees at a conference or convention, united with the common purpose of understanding. Imagine the nerve cells bundled together that stretch into your spinal cord and into all of the nerves radiating out into the furthest reaches of your fingertips and your toes. Visualize each one of these delicate and highly sensitive neurons stretching out and reaching in to each and every single one of your cells in your body. Imagine how in an instant, at nearly the speed of light, a single thought nearly instantly changes the quality and direction of work in each cell of your body. Imagine the possibility of your entire being shifting in an instant with the train of chosen thoughts and feelings right now in the present moment. Imagine this network within you, which is a very highly specialized and incredibly sensitive perception and feedback system, connecting your body, heart, mind, and spirit all together as one. Can you see and understand that it links together everything that makes up who and what you are and makes and shapes your experience of being in life possible? Okay, so now imagine that your nervous system is a lighthouse whose ultimate purpose is to illuminate your consciousness and to guide the ships of your thoughts, emotions, and sensations to higher and more deeply meaningful experiences in life. Now, unfortunately, when you're in an anxious or depressed state, your light is effectively being dimmed as you jam your lighthouse continually into the dark crevices of negative emotions. And as a result, all of your ships are ramming into the shore, bashing into the rocks, being thrown around, torn apart, and the wreckage being spewed back in the surrounding chaotic, stormy sea of your life. When you are in the lower states of being, characterized by anxiety and depression, the light of your consciousness is dimmed, and effectively, the organization of your being is backwards. By backwards, I mean that you are operating from the outside in and allowing outside circumstances and events to push you around and try to tell you who and what you are. You are none of those small, shitty illusions projected by your ego. You are so much more. What I am suggesting to you here is that if you start paying attention to your thoughts, then when you notice a negative thought in your body getting tense, then say stop to the internal mental chatter by using the internal stop method. When you begin to feel agitated, with a firm tone, say stop internally using your inner voice, and then begin to play with the anxious feeling. Push it, poke it, prod it, see what it does. What shitty old thought or feeling does it lead you toward? What image from your past does it evoke? What can you remember? This is a really good opportunity to learn about what is happening below your level of awareness. Now, when you start to feel agitated and uncomfortable in your body, move into courage and challenge that feeling. Move towards whatever is triggering the sensation of fear and see what happens. Explore it and play with it. See where it leads you. Although this suggestion sounds dangerous, it is actually more daring. And by moving into courage, you may be guided towards further actions that can help liberate you from the source of your anxiety. By playing with the anxiety and the fear, you are actually turning up the light of consciousness within the lighthouse of your nervous system, and you're beginning to shed light into dark areas of your being. From this place of empowerment, you are positioned to access the truth that the mechanism producing the anxious state is nothing more than your egoic mind playing a strange game and producing an illusion in order to keep you safe. And yes, I know this all sounds bizarre and slightly insane, but if you stop and look around, look at the world outside you in detail, you'll see that we live in a world that is pretty crazy in itself. It's not too different. Additionally, every single human being on this planet is a little nutso crazy, so there's really nothing to be worried about by pushing the boundaries a bit. There's nothing to be worried about. There's absolutely nothing to be worried about. Anyways, my point with all of this rambling is to plant a precious little seed of an idea in your mind in hopes that it will germinate in fertile soils so that you can reach up out of the depths of emotional overwhelm. By shifting your mindset from one of seriousness to one of sincerity, and by learning to experiment and play with your anxious states, you are effectively employing another great tool for helping you to rise up in your being towards a better experience in life. Anyways, that's it for today's episode. I sincerely hope that this message helps you find a way out of the darkness and towards the beacon of light that radiates from within. For more information and resources, feel free to check out the website www.changeyourmind.life, or you click on the links in the description below. As always, thank you for being here. Your presence is truly a gift. We'll see you later. Bye.